ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's now offers coffee subscriptions. You can order a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. You can choose from 3 collections, the Flavored Coffee Collection, the Roastmasters Collection, or the Disney Signature Coffee Collection. Each collection includes 3 bags per month. With the Joffrey's Coffee subscriptions, never run out of great coffee again. Learn more and order at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently holding for further traffic clearance. Once the monorail in front of us moves a safe distance away, we will resume our forward motion. Please remember to stay clear of all automatic doors. If you're standing, please continue to hold on to the silver handrails. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com. Very excited for today's show. Today we're going to do a follow-up report. Back on episode 744, we had Sydney Seager and Lisa Watson on the show. They were talking about what they hope to accomplish, how they hope their vacation would be. Now they're now back. And this is episode 752, and we're going to talk to them about their trip, find out how everything went. And we're also joined by Lisa's husband, Tom Watson. Guys, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Our pleasure.
So you guys just got back relatively recently. How did the trip go overall compared to what you guys were expecting?
It was hotter than I was expecting. It was hotter and more humid and very rainy.
And there were actually more crowds than what I was anticipating, and a lot more school-aged kids. Yeah. We had kind of hoped that even though a lot of schools are going virtually, we had kind of hoped that would keep families at home. But we heard while we were there that a lot of families were down there and they were just doing school in the hotel room and then going to the parks. Kind of makes sense. You can do school from anywhere.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
It seems like the crowds had just started to ramp up the time you were going to, because just 2 weeks before, guys, when we were recording, remember that everyone was saying the crowds were really low.
Yep. And I think that is what actually happened.
It still wasn't all that crowded, though. It seemed like at the entrances to the park, it was crowded, but then it kind of dispersed, except at Hollywood Studios in Toy Story Land. It seemed very crowded.
And in Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
I mean, the walkways and everything are kind of narrow. And we went to Hollywood Studios twice. And both times I was thinking, if this is limited capacity, I don't want to be anywhere near there if things ever go back to normal and they just open it up, 100%. Because it literally in places it would be literal shoulder to shoulder.
Oh wow! So no 6 feet.
In the bar, I'm there.
Yeah, Oga's Cantina was really cool.
Oh my gosh!
So if you ever go, Tim, you need to go there. You need to have a nub yub.
God bless you.
Thank
was that
you.
the nub yub? What's in that?
Mysterious stuff. I mean, there was quite a few different things, but it was really good. I think Sydney's going to go
I'm
look
looking
at
it up. What's in the Yub Nub?
And for a price, you get a collector's mug. The collector's mug was unlike any one that I've had before because it was actually ceramic. And we found out that no two are the same.
Oh.
And I think they change every year. So it's expensive. It's $45. But in the short of it, it's like, you know what? That was a really good $45 because it's a heck of a souvenir to have.
Well, and the drinks were like $10, $11 anyways. So
well, I could have had one to go for 15.
Okay.
So
yeah, but it was also a very big drink compared to some of the others.
16, 20 ounces, something like that. It wasn't small.
Yeah, and I found what's in it. It has Malibu rum, pineapple rum, Sailor Jerry spiced rum, citrus juices, and passion fruit. And it was delicious. Really good.
Oh, fantastic. So it sounds like it's still kind of the Trader Sam's model. Highly themed bar, drinks with glasses, souvenir glasses you can buy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to go in there, because they got the Star Wars music, the
They've got the DJ
going. And so just for Star Wars fans and, just going back years when I saw the original, it was just like walking around and being on the set. It was really cool.
Wow, that's nice.
It was also air conditioned, which,
it was really
don't
nice.
underestimate the power of air conditioning.
That's true. How long was the wait to get in?
We
had a reservation.
Yeah, we had
Okay.
you have to have a reservation to get in, and we waited maybe 10 minutes.
Okay.
I think it was
We
closer,
checked in and we had to wait.
Well,
like
yeah.
15 minutes. It felt like forever because it was
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad.
I think it was worth the wait.
We could have walked around and done other stuff, but we just sat and chilled
Yeah.
waiting for it.
Yeah.
So what'd you do after you were done with your beverage? Did you do any more touring? Did you do some of the Star Wars stuff?
We ate
at Sci-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
But
we had a
y'all had to get on one of the rides.
We had a boarding group. We
That
went
was
we went to Oga's the day that Sydney and John actually arrived. And Tom and I were able to get a boarding group on the Rise of Resistance. We were boarding group number 43.
Ooh.
And it was called while we were in Oga's, but you've got that hour to go back to and get in the line.
Mm-hmm.
Went down and never came back up that day. So,
Oh.
and then the second we were there, we weren't able to get a boarding group. So that is one disappointment of the trip. We didn't get to ride Rise of the Resistance.
That's the biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
Oh, that is.
But it is what it is. Like I said in the previous show, we're going to be going back in just a few years. So it's a brand new ride. My priority was getting on the rides that have been there longer, because you never know with older rides when they're going to be there and when they're not.
Oh, that's a good point. Yes. When they'll play the old, it's not a museum card, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did finally ride Carousel Progress.
What'd you think?
And the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and Peter Pan's Flight, and Journey into Imagination.
Oh, we rode that twice.
We have a new favorite now. We do love Figment now, even more.
Oh,
because
good.
now we understand.
Yep, and I have a port for a shoulder buddy.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the shoulder buddies.
Yep.
Have you
Really
seen
popular,
those?
I've seen them, but I don't think I've seen the Figment one. Is that what you're talking about?
Well,
I can send you the Figment one that I got from my brother.
Tom's got a porg, which is one of those little birds in Star Wars.
Okay. Yes.
Was on the island with Luke.
Yeah.
That is a conversation starter.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, his name is Seamus.
Yeah, because you adopt them.
You have to adopt him.
Oh, okay. So they come pre-named.
No,
we named them.
You named them.
Yeah. And we figured since he was on an Irish island, during the movie filming, that he should have an Irish name.
There you go.
Yeah, because they go through the spiel, you're adopting him and stuff. And I said, well, obviously we got to name him.
Mm-hmm.
And so Seamus. And of course the cast member loved it.
Oh.
Well, and like we said, it rained every day that we were down there, but Tom and I were prepared with our Disney ponchos before we went down, and they got quite a bit of use.
Mm-hmm.
The first day that it rained, though, we got soaked because we weren't quite prepared.
We weren't quick enough. It just
it was at Animal Kingdom, and it just downpoured, and I thought it was never going to end. It kind of felt good though because it cooled you down.
Yeah, but
we were drenched the rest of the day.
Felt good. They weren't sugar cubes. They weren't melting, Tim.
And you're saying this is a kind of, it sounds like an unusual time for rain. It wasn't your normal afternoon showers you were having.
Correct. It was not. It was. They've just had an awful lot of rain.
Yeah.
In the last few weeks before we got there, and during that time they were getting it constantly.
Well, while we were there, it was when those tropical storms and depressions, whatever they were called, that was coming through.
But we didn't let it stop us. We learned to get the outdoor rides in when we got to the parks in the morning, because then they're going to shut those down when it starts raining and storming.
Mm-hmm.
Except Mine Train.
Yeah,
they kept the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. That was going even when it was raining. We got caught. We were in line, and it was one of the most intimidating lines while we were there. Out of all the rides we rode, that one looked like the longest. I mean, it wrapped around to an area I had never even seen before, but it went really, really, really quick. But the entire time it was downpouring, the ride was still going, and we watched everybody just get completely soaked on the ride because it was downpouring, but it was like it was hitting them even more because the ride was going really fast.
Hit with some velocity.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we had told you that my niece and great niece were driving over from the Tampa area, and they spent 4 days with us, had an absolute ball. Ryder was tall enough to ride everything except rock and roller coaster, and she rode everything she was tall enough to ride and loved it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
She was actually really, really upset when the ride ended because she didn't want to get off. She wanted it to keep going or just get on right again.
Oh, absolutely. I think I saw her. Looked like she was enthralled by the cavalcades.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, there were several times that Sydney and Morgan, my niece, and I would look at each other and we're like, I'm not crying, you're crying.
Oh.
Because just the way, even though you can't go and like hug the characters and stuff, they still interact with you while they're in the cavalcades. And some of the reactions that they gave to Ryder were just precious.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she had her celebrating button too.
Yeah, she had her happy birthday button.
Mm-hmm.
So
princesses would point and say happy birthday, and she would just freak out, and then we're standing back crying.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh.
Seeing it through a child's eyes is the best.
Yes, and that was her first time. Is that right?
Yes, that was her first time.
Oh,
yeah,
wonderful.
It was great.
What do you think was her favorite part?
I think it was when she got to see Anna and Elsa, because those are her favorites.
Probably.
And she freaked out. Like, above any other character, any princess, she freaked out over Anna and Elsa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she loved Frozen.
The Frozen Ever After ride.
Yeah.
She had a ball.
Yeah.
Now, did she watch Frozen after she saw this? Because it seems like once you go through those experiences of seeing them in person, then you almost kind of look at the movie like in a more endearing way than you even did before.
No, I think she had seen, I don't know if she's seen the second one. I know she's seen the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she's singing Let It Go.
Yeah.
When Elsa's singing it in the ride.
Oh, yeah.
I have a video recording of us in the ride, and I can hear Ryder behind me singing Let It Go. It was adorable.
And we have to say, we had told you that we were staying at Caribbean Beach Resort, and
Yes.
It was the first time we had stayed there. I am now a big fan of that resort. It is big. It's a lot more spread out than French Quarter.
Mm-hmm.
However, I timed our walk and we were staying in Jamaica in Building 42. And it was gorgeous.
And close to the Skyliner.
And very close to the Skyliner. We were probably, a 5-minute or less walk to the Skyliner, and to walk to Old Port Royal was not quite 8 minutes. I timed it one day.
Okay, that's not bad.
So, yeah, even though it's a big resort, it's not that long of a walk.
That last night that John and I had when we had our tour of the Riviera, because we stayed there too late, we couldn't catch the Skyliner back. So we ended up walking from the Riviera back to
That was a nice
where
walk.
we were staying. It was a nice walk. It didn't take that long. It looks a lot longer than it is.
But the Skyliner is awesome.
You like that?
I loved it.
It scared me. Well, okay. It scared me kind of for a stupid reason. If you're ever riding it and it doesn't matter which way you're facing, actually. If you're facing towards the station that you're coming up to, you come in hot. It's like they wait until the last second to pump the brakes. And that scared me. But then if you're facing the other direction for oncoming little Skyliner things, it looks like they're going to hit you.
Oh,
The kids scared me. They thought it was hilarious, though. They loved watching that.
how did you like where it dropped you off in the parks?
Loved it.
It was nice.
Loved it. Especially Epcot. Now there was I think it was the morning we went with Morgan and Ryder.
Yep.
We were back. Of course, it comes in at International Gateway, and we were back over the bridge. I think we were almost to one of the.
Is it the boardwalk?
I think we were almost to the boardwalk, but because of the physical distancing, and oh, by the way, a cast member told me they don't like to say socially distant because they're so social, so they use physical distancing.
Okay.
But because of that, the line looked longer than it really was. It didn't take us that long to get in.
No. All of the lines looked worse than they actually were. It wasn't that bad.
We would set the timer as soon as we got in line and look to see what it was compared to what the posted time was. And it was almost in every case half of what the posted time was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like a 30-minute would actually be maybe 15.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do 15 minutes any day for almost anything.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, even stuff that there was one that it said it was a 60-minute wait. And within 20 minutes, we were sitting down on the ride.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
It was crazy.
Would you call it a very efficient trip for getting what you wanted to get done?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Except for Rise of the Resistance, we did pretty much everything we wanted to do that we had already talked about wanting to do as a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had 2 days at every park, the days that we had Morgan and Ryder with us, we tried to prioritize the ones that Ryder had said that she wanted to ride so that we knew we could get all those in because we had another day at the park to do what we wanted to do.
Now, one of the priorities you wanted to do this time was food and wine.
Yes.
How was food and wine?
Oh, it was glorious.
It was good. We didn't get to try as many things as we had put on our list to try because it was pretty warm. And for whatever reason, the days we went to Epcot, we didn't plan it right and went on the weekends. And there were a lot of crowds there on the weekends. I'm not going to lie.
Well, and not only that, the portions that they give you are pretty big.
Yeah.
So I was expecting little like bite-sized things so
Like
I could
1 or 2
eat a whole
bites.
lot. No. One thing could fill me up for a couple hours before I was ready to eat another something.
I could use a little more steak in Canada, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
yeah.
that was a good steak in Canada.
It was.
Oh my God. And we had also, Tom and I had never tried a New England lobster roll.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on the list. Oh my God. It was delicious. But like Sydney said, it was big enough that it was plenty. I wanted to eat other things, but I was full.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Guinness, the Bailey's milkshake.
Oh,
Was delicious.
so good.
That sounds
The
refreshing.
Cake pops were delicious.
Oh, we went back for more cake pops.
Mhm.
And the macaroni and cheeses were good. I tried the regular gourmet mac and cheese, and I tried the buffalo chicken mac and cheese, and those were good.
And I had the lobster mac and cheese, and it was good.
Mm-hmm. What else did we try?
We had the pierogies.
Oh,
too.
pierogi and kielbasa.
Yeah, and that was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And it wasn't the other thing that I was super excited about I don't think it was a part of the Food and Wine Festival. I don't know if it's in that booth all the time, but over by Canada, there's a booth that serves poutine, traditional poutine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really excited about that because I've been looking for poutine everywhere and I feel like I can't find it anywhere but Canada. So I got some of that and it was really, really good. And I had to share it with my mom because there was so much of it.
Oh yeah, that was
It was
a big
huge.
helping. Yeah. Yeah.
I will have to say though, this trip was a lot more relaxing for us because Lisa and I did 10 days as opposed to the usual 7. Not to mention with the reduced hours in the park, it made it a lot more stress-free because we weren't getting up at 5 in the morning to get ready and be at the park, as soon as it opened, and having to stay there until the fireworks were done and stuff. So it was a lot easier this time. So it was a lot more relaxing. And one of the other things that worked really well was without the dining plan, I think we actually did a lot better than what we have in the past with the dining plan with this.
We didn't pay nearly as much. Yeah.
I think we actually saved some.
I mean, we didn't feel locked into things. If we felt like eating, we'd get a little bite to eat. If we didn't, it wasn't one of those things where you've got these credits, you've got to use them or you're going to lose them. That's
right.
Just wasting money. And this one was a lot more relaxing and go with the flow and easy going.
Oh, and it was nice because we had to figure out where to eat in the parks that we were at, where in the past we would usually end up with the reservation at Epcot, and with the park hopper, you'd leave Animal Kingdom, you'd go over to Epcot and have your dinner and stuff. Well, this time it changed that. So, we ended up having dinner at Yak and Yeti for the very first time, and it will not be the last.
No.
Holy smokes. Was that ever good?
However, Tom did have his first bad meal at Disney in 4 trips, also at Animal Kingdom.
Tom, what was this meal? What was bad?
What was it?
Flame tree.
The
It was
flame tree
barbecue.
So, I had heard good things about Flame Tree. And of course, we live in barbecue country here. Okay. And so I figured I'm going to get the ribs. And I thought, man, they got to be good.
That's what I would get.
And they were so tough, so dry.
Oh,
It was a major disappointment. And again, in 4 trips, and all the meals we've had, that is the only one that I never cared for. That it was not good. I was sorry I paid the money for it.
And I think it was only the ribs because John had the pulled pork and it was really, really good.
Yeah, I had the macaroni and cheese topped with the pulled pork, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they let them.
They overcooked.
They overcooked them. Well, actually, they probably let them sit too long, and they kept cooking. So,
Yeah.
But
everything else was great.
everything else was good. We ate at Tapanetto.
Yes.
Oh,
Tapanetto?
Tapanetto.
Oh, my God, that
man,
was
man,
good.
man.
It had just opened, right? So y'all were able to get a reservation.
Yeah.
It opened right just shortly before we went. Yeah.
Have you ever eaten there, Tim?
yes.
Yeah, that was just phenomenal. And they got that down really good because they have these portable plastic shields that are like C-clamps, so they can divide up the table however they want for people.
Oh, it's
so there
interesting.
was like 2 of us, and you put a shield up, and then there was a family of 3 on the other side of us.
Oh, I was going to wonder how they did that. If you had your own table, that's very interesting.
Really cool.
Yeah, it was. We also ate for the first time at Via Napoli.
Oh,
Tom's and my first night. We had a pizza and a salad. That was delicious. Oh, and a bottle of wine.
and a bottle of wine. So you from Northeast Ohio understand how we treasure our pizza there.
Yes. Little known fact, people don't think about Northeast Ohio for pizza, but we have lots of great pizza places around here.
In Northeast Ohio, the pizza up there is phenomenal. Down here in Texas, maybe 1 or 2 places, not so much. So, not having been home in a while up there to get myself a good pizza, we went to the Italian restaurant, and I'm telling you what, this pizza, it rocked my world. It was so good.
Wow, do you remember which one you had?
Good.
Or what was on it?
It was a margarita.
Yeah,
oh,
it was a
okay,
margarita.
very nice.
Yeah.
And we had a
salad with it.
Yeah.
We shared a big salad, and it was perfect. But the pizza, it's like, oh, so good, so good, so good. I miss Northeast Ohio pizza and Italian food so much.
Oh, we were telling you that some of the things that we had said that we had never done before, we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Sydney did Carousel Progress.
I'm so proud of her.
I know, right? The Enchanted Tiki Room.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
God.
I forgot to mention that one.
Tiki.
In the Tiki room.
She didn't dance though.
I know.
We chair danced, and we looked over at her, and she was just like sitting there. She was like,
I was watching everything because it's like you were surrounded by just everything was
The
singing
birds
and
yeah.
moving, and I was just watching all
she's
of
boring,
it.
Kim.
Yeah.
Don't let her
I
kid
was
you.
not.
Oh, she was
okay.
soaking it all in.
Yep. We also rode Peter Pan's Flight, which was really cool.
I
was
loved
really
that.
The
I liked
Mini
it.
Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which was cool, but it kind of made me cry because I love Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore.
Eeyore.
Yeah.
And Journey into Imagination with Figment, which we had never done, and now it's going to be a must-do for us.
Yeah.
as long
What's
as I
our
keep
other
it.
favorite one now that we went? That was in Animal Kingdom up there. Avatar.
Oh, the Navi River.
Navi
That
River.
was really cool.
It was really cool, except
The snake.
we were in the queue line. We were in the queue line just waiting. And Ryder pointed it out.
Yeah.
Actually, she saw a snake. And she pointed, and I was like, "Oh, it's probably just one of those animatronic things getting you like in the queue and everything."
Mhm.
No, it was a real snake.
Oh my!
And it was really close to us. It was slithering up the tree and the branch was right above us.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, line needs to hurry up because I don't want this thing falling on me." But yeah,
Talking like cast members, the next time we went there, yeah, we heard about the snake. We don't know how it got loose or where from, and they didn't know about it, and they hadn't seen it since.
Oh my!
But it was really cool because
Yeah, it was.
some people didn't even pay any attention and
No.
were trying to point up above their head. They're just yakking away to their friends and stuff like that. And this snake's just hanging off the branch, leaning his head down, just looking, and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yep. Oh, and back to what was mentioned about the park times, the park's closing earlier and there not being any fireworks. While that really, really sucked, we love watching our nighttime shows and our fireworks.
Mhm.
It was really great to leave at an earlier time after spending a day at the parks, really, really hot, going back to the resort and getting in the pool. Oh my gosh.
That's
And
the
our
first time
pool
we've
was
really done
great.
that.
We
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
not go to the main pool. That pool seemed very crowded.
Always.
Didn't seem it was.
It
crowded.
was crowded. But Jamaica and all the others have their own like quiet pool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we only saw like a maximum of 4 other people at a time there with
There
us.
was a couple times there were a little bit more than that, but it was still plenty of space. and
Yeah.
It was really enjoyable, and we brought our Coca-Cola down from the room, and
Mhm.
sipped a Coke while we're relaxing on the pool. So
Yeah, it was great.
So, Tom, Lisa, I want to touch on this. You said you were there for like 9 or 10 days, and while there were reduced park hours, did you leave it all, or did you stay in the parks the entire time and then go back to the room like you were just saying?
No, we stayed the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah, we either went a little bit later to the park, or because Epcot didn't open to 11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the earliest
So-
park was 9:00, and that was Animal Kingdom and
Studios, wasn't it?
Studios
Magic
didn't-
Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom, and the studios opened at 10. So I mean, you don't have to get up early.
Mhm.
We would go have a leisurely breakfast, but we stayed in the parks until they closed, and it was actually kind of neat because a few of our dinner reservations were late enough that we didn't finish eating until after the park was closed.
Yeah.
So some of our best pictures are after we get finished eating dinner because everybody's gone
Yeah.
except for the cast
Especially
members.
coming out of Animal Kingdom, it was so nice.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom.
It was-
Well, so was
Skipper Canteen.
the
When we
Skipper-
were at Magic Kingdom, the first day at Magic Kingdom, we had Morgan and Ryder with us, and we ate dinner at Skipper Canteen, which is another first for us.
so good.
Oh my goodness, it was so
the
good.
waitress was hilarious.
Yeah,
the
she
cast
was.
member, oh man, I'll tell
she
you
was
what.
great. But when we got out, our reservation was late enough. It was right before the park closed. So, and we ate for at least an hour. So when we got out, the park was pretty much deserted. So we actually got one of the photo pass people to take a picture of all of us, and there's nobody with us in front of the castle.
Yep. It was awesome.
I've never had a picture like that where it's just us and the castle and that's it.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Oh, it was great. And the castle was actually pretty. I was kind of skeptical about the new color.
It's gorgeous.
But it is really, really pretty in person.
Yep. I agree. I like it a lot.
Something funny when we were at the castle. I think it was the second time we were there. We were on the back side of it. And the evil stepsisters popped out on the balconies in the back and had headsets on for mics. And they just started working a crowd. It was hilarious.
It was fun.
They bantered for probably 20 minutes.
Easy.
Oh, wow.
Easy. It was hysterical.
And they were cracking jokes, and people would be like, "Where's Cinderella?" And they would just look at each other and say, "Well, we're not her keeper." It was so funny. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. They were great. Even the cast members were distancing themselves. Everything was roped off. There was actually a rope. I didn't know if y'all noticed, but there was a rope to have them tell how far apart they were and make sure it was 6 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's where they both entered and exited
through separate doors.
Yeah.
And even the parades looked like everybody was pretty well distanced. But the parades were great too. And we were there right after they decorated for Halloween. So we got to see the morning cavalcade with Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore and Piglet, all of them in their costumes.
Yeah.
Oh, it was adorable. I didn't cry at all.
I'm not buying it.
That's good.
It was allergies.
Let's see.
But it was great.
I was just going through your pictures here. Looks like you also ate in Germany.
Yeah, that was on my birthday, and that was cool. The food we all thought was as good as it always is. They brought out so much food.
I think it was with the way they're doing it now is better than having the buffet. You know how they had the buffet service before where you just kept going up for more and more? I think this was a little bit better because they just brought more stuff out on plates and you didn't have to go up. And it's got to be better on them cost-wise because they're controlling it more than just throwing all this stuff out.
Yeah, at the end of the night.
Yeah, and but the food was absolutely phenomenal.
And they still had the live music, which was great.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And they really interacted with Ryder because Ryder, she hears music, she's going to start dancing. Yep. So she got up out of her chair and started dancing, and they would point to her and laugh and kind of dance with her. It was great.
The beer was good too.
I was going to say, Tom, I'm looking at this picture. It looks like you had a small beer. From what I recall. Oh, there was a flight.
Yeah, you had
3 or 4.
Oh, I see in there. I see one in your hand. I see 2 on the table, and Tom's holding like a pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, this ain't amateur hour when I go there. So,
yeah.
Having been there and done Otoberfest real time in Germany, it's like,
And, by the way, on the subject of alcohol, when Tom and I went back to Animal Kingdom the day after Sydney and John,
it was the day we left. Y'all sent pictures and I was so mad.
We did also accomplish getting a Dole Whip. We got one at Magic Kingdom, and it was the I Lava You Dole Whip. Good. Oh my God, it was so good. But then when we went to Animal Kingdom, we went to Tamu Tamu and got their version of the Dole Whip with the dark rum in it.
Mm-hmm.
So good. It was delicious.
Are you sure?
I'd love to have one right now.
Oh, man. I wish we could get just a regular Dole Whip right now. That sounds amazing.
Something else you guys did. I'm looking at your
yeah, we have hands here now, so.
As I'm looking at your pictures here, I see You wouldn't be Tom Watson on vacation if you didn't do some golfing.
That is affirmative. The wife was gracious enough to let me have a couple tee times. We were going to do 3, but we cut it back to 2 because we were trying to fit more stuff in the parks and stuff. And of course, John and I missed some of the stuff that they had done on those 2 days that we golfed. But yeah, the first day John and I went over there, it had a lot of rain. So the course was wet, a lot more so than I thought it was going to be. But then, wait a minute, this is Florida. Everything's built on a swamp. This course is built on a swamp. So yeah, it's going to be wet. So I was real happy that at the end of the day, I was able to keep my shoes on and not lose them in the fairway in the mud. Because it was amazing. I lost the first day. I think I lost probably 5-6 balls. And some of them were just plugged in the fairway to probably never be found again. But the course is pretty. I'd like to play it under drier conditions. Disney is absolutely incredible hospitality-wise for a golf course. I marshal here at a golf course, and so we try to do things for customer service. But Disney, I'm talking above and beyond. I mean, when you pull up, of course, they give you the voucher from your resort to take you over to the golf course, and now Disney, the golf course, used to keep your clubs when you checked in. They would take them over and leave them at the course. But because of COVID, they changed that. So it sits in the baggage with the bellhops at your resort. But they get it out for you, and you load it up in a taxi, and you go over there. And when you arrive, they have a bag person that's there to greet you. They grab your clubs and everything. And the first they do is they put them in a golf cart for you and say, your clubs will be around back for you. Go into the clubhouse and, get your ticket, etc. And of course, you go in there and it's Disney. So you drop a couple, $300 buying, different souvenirs, shirts, balls, towels, hats, stuff like that. And then you come out and they got the putting green. It was just monstrous. And of course, Magnolia was the PGA one that they had tournaments. So there's a big green stage off to the side with flags, and it's really picturesque. And so you get your cart, and it's one of the most comfortable golf carts that I've driven in a long time. And so right off the bat, you go over to Chippendales, okay? Because you got to have breakfast, right?
Of course.
Can't start with that. So go over to Chippendales, and ladies there, she'll cook you whatever you want, and you can get a ice chest, and they'll fill it up with ice, and they'll put whatever drinks and stuff you want in it. And we got our food, and it's cool because the ice chest fits on the left and right side of the cart, so you and your passenger each have your own drinks, which is really cool. And then, of course, while you're out on the course, they have a cart girl. And I don't know if you've ever seen the Disney carts for the food carts that go around a golf course, but they're minis. They got mini all over it. And it's just hilarious. I mean, everything they do with it. And their drop zones are Mickey Mouse heads, and some of the sand traps are Mickey Mouse heads, and it was just a joy to play. Even though I really got muddy in it, it was still a lot of fun to play. And one of the highlights was when we came back at the end of the round, you pull your cart up to the clubhouse, and they have 3 or 4 guys there they'll come and take your bag. But what they'll do is they have a wet rag, and they'll start wiping down every one of your golf clubs. So,
wow.
They make sure they're all clean for you, put your covers back on and stuff. And then they tell you your clubs will be in front on the rack when you're done. And, you go in and stuff and come out. And the bag person, and it was actually a young lady that we had on the way out. And she just transferred over from Animal Kingdom and started working at the course. And so we were talking to her, and that's all they do is, take care of the golf bags and it's just a class act on what they do. I mean, they really take care of you. And what I was really pleased about was because the conditions were so bad, I didn't end up paying what I thought I was going to pay for the 18 holes. And so they realized the conditions, and so you didn't get hit for the original green fee. I think it was supposed to be like $89 or $90, and that didn't happen because of the conditions.
Okay.
So it was really cool, and
The wild animals.
the wild animals on the course. Yeah, I mean it was. They went with us the second day, and we were scheduled to play 18. But I said, we'll just do 9 because we didn't know it, but we had rain overnight. And I thought, we missed the rain on Tuesday, and we're like, oh, we could be good. We get to the course, and now we got rain all night. I'm like, oh, here we go again. And so, again, I was collecting mud, and I thought, oh, they're going to think this is a spawn. I'm going to get charged.
I was hoping that we would see alligators. And we did see eyes.
I pointed it out. It was in the water.
Yeah.
Its head poked up, and I said, "Oh no, I better stay in that water."
Oh.
But we let them drive the carts, and they had a lot of fun driving the carts for us. Sydney kind of squirreled a few times, so we had to Sydney, hello, come pick us up.
Because there were deer. I was staring at the deer.
Oh.
There were so
I'm sorry,
many
she
deer.
deered. She didn't squirrel.
I deered. And
Dear.
those brakes, their brakes on those golf carts are kind of touchy. I barely touched it, and you kind of slammed it.
Yeah,
Oh,
your
man.
mother did it too, and that's why I had to go see my surgeon when I got back.
Whatever.
It was entertaining.
But yeah, so it was really nice to have them out on a course with us,
Mhm.
and they got to see it because you took a ton of pictures, and I
took over
to
100
me.
just of the golf
Yeah,
course.
did you send Tim any of those?
I didn't, but I can right now.
Tim, she's got to send you these pictures. It was just really something. I don't know if you play golf or.
Oh, it's been a long time. When I did, I never really did, but I've been out there long enough to get frustrated. How's that?
That's the joy of the game.
That is
Yeah.
true. Then you hit that one shot. That's why you keep playing to hit those again.
That's it. You're back to I'm good.
Yeah. It was great.
One other thing that we did that was, I think, highlighted the trip was before we went, just out of curiosity, Tom had ordered a DVD from the DVC, and he actually was contacted by one of the sales folks before we went. So we set up a tour of the Riviera.
Oh, very nice.
While we were there. And so the last night that Sydney and John were there, we all went over there and toured the Riviera, the DVC rooms. And of course, the first thing we wanted to see was the 3-bedroom grand villa.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. And the Riviera Resort is beautiful. And we, after our tour, we had dinner at the Bar Riva, which is the bar there at the Riviera. And it was delicious as well. And then we walked back to our resort.
Without buying DVC or with buying DVC?
Without the DVC points.
For now.
For now. Yes. Yes.
It's a goal. And I was surprised when they were first showing the Riviera and how it was coming soon and everything. Just by the pictures and everything, it didn't feel very Disney to me.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt very hotel, like
pretty.
just another hotel. It was pretty, but it just looked like any other hotel. But when we actually went inside, and the lady that did the tour for us, she called it a story resort. It told a story, and it told Walt's story when he went overseas to the Riviera, and how he got a lot of his ideas for Disney movies and everything from books that he got overseas and brought suitcases of them back. And they actually have some of them in their, I guess they call it the museum lounge area in the Riviera. They have some of those books that he brought back in those suitcases.
Wow.
And every hallway has paintings of a different princess's castle. And we had so many trivia questions asked, and it was a lot of information. I should have recorded it because I could not remember all of that information. But it ended up feeling way more Disney once you go inside than I was expecting. And I loved it.
I'd stay there in a heartbeat.
That 3-bedroom grand villa, it was, 2,600 square feet?
Something like that.
Something like that. It was huge, multiple balconies. And I'm in love with the kitchen.
Yeah, it was a nice kitchen.
It was amazing. And the lady said that there's views. Like the whole area, the whole unit has views of fireworks, evening fireworks.
Did she say Epcot and Hollywood Studios?
I know it was Epcot.
Epcot for sure.
Epcot for sure. It was beautiful. And then we got that print at the end of our tour, which is beautiful. I'm framing mine.
I am too.
One of the cool things, they were already gone, Lisa and I were still there. One of my friends that's been a DVC member for 20 plus years. He happened to be down at the same time, and so we met him over in Epcot. Right? Yeah, we went to Epcot to it was about Figment. They have a club up there, and so he invited us to go up just for DVC
members.
And so it was cool. We got to go up there, and it's a nice place to sit and relax and cool off.
Drinks.
Yeah, they just had soft drinks. He said they used to have snacks and stuff, but of course, COVID's ruined all that. But
right,
they do have drinks, but they have the DVC people there, and so one of them was really hilarious because he kept overhearing our conversation stuff. But when we got back home, I ended up getting this huge DVC book sent to us. Because he was listening to our conversation stuff. I said, well, yeah. I said, because he was saying, about the Riviera. I said, well, yeah, we toured that last night. And, we told him who I had been talking to and stuff. And so he had his iPad and he put some stuff in it. And I don't know, I think it was like 3 or 4 days later, we're home. And I got this notice from UPS that I'm getting a package. I'm like, what the heck is this? And it was coming from Orlando. And I'm like, okay, this is something Disney. I know that. And here was this big book on DVC with the points and everything. I'm like, oh, please don't tempt me.
Yeah. It gave a lot of information.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it really did. It answered a lot of questions. And it's like, so.
Oh,
it's the goal for all of us to own DVC.
Mm-hmm. So it was a book to help you weigh the pros and the cons and get you some more information on the DVC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
one of the things
brilliant
that I was looking for were how the points were used and how much points were used per nights and stuff, which I can never get an answer for, and they have that answer in this book.
Gotcha. Well, if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll ask the DVC Round Table.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Every month.
Yeah. You got 60 grand? That's one question. So, yeah.
But that was really, really fun. And one thing about the parks that I like that even though it stopped the line and made the lines longer for a little bit, we got to see all of the cleaning that they did. And they are actually cleaning. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Like I said earlier, It's a Small World is the one that was the only ride that was the closest to the posted wait time. We were at a point in the queue line where we could actually look down and see the cleaning that they were doing. They cleaned every single boat, every single handrail, and then they ran it through the ride a couple times for it to dry before anybody could go back on. And we saw people cleaning the parks, throughout the parks, at the resorts. We saw it's constantly everywhere. Everything was being cleaned, and I felt really safe there, even in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh yeah,
I did too. There were hand washing stations pretty frequently. Of course, there's so many restrooms at Disney too, but if there wasn't a restroom nearby, there were hand washing stations, and I couldn't believe the number of hand sanitizing stations. I mean, at the beginning of a queue, while you're in the queue, at the end of the queue, as soon as you get off the ride, I mean, they were just all over the place. and mask compliance, I thought, was pretty high. We did see people, showing their noses.
We saw one guy get kicked out.
I'm sure you probably heard about the guy that got kicked out of Galaxy's Edge, Hollywood Studios.
He went live on Facebook while he was doing it.
Yeah, we actually saw him being escorted out.
It was hilarious.
Because he refused to put a mask on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the rules. And
Right.
there's signs at every entrance and throughout every single park. It's mandatory.
Yeah.
So people got to follow the rules.
Right. They couldn't be more
And-
clear.
My great niece did as well, if not better than the rest of us, keeping her mask on. It was so funny too, because she would forget she had the mask on and go to take a bite of something or get a drink. And she'd just look at me and go, "Do you believe I just did that?"
We all did that.
Yeah.
We all did that, especially with the straw.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
But it was nice. And I liked the whole hand sanitizing thing throughout the whole queue line, because kids are going to touch things.
Mhm.
It's just what they do. They want to touch things. So I was watching Ryder touch all of these rails and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, hand sanitizer. And she was really good at every single hand sanitizer station that she ran into. She got
used
hand
it, yeah.
sanitizer, which was amazing. A 4-year-old
Yeah.
can wear a mask and get the hand sanitizers and wash her hands, but a grown adult would not wear a
Gripes
mask.
about it.
Yes. It's amazing
we
kids can
have
follow the
our own
rules.
surplus too of what we took. We had the wipes,
Oh, the
Yeah,
Medi
we-
wipes.
the Medi wipes, and
Yeah.
your sprays
My
that you
hand-
bought that were
Yeah.
scented, that were nicer. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was not really, truly, I was not concerned at all while we were at Disney. The flight there and back wasn't too bad, but again, like Tom just said, we had our own Medi wipes that we had in our carry-on. We pulled them out as soon as we sat down and wiped everything that we might touch. And just, we kept our masks on. You just have to be aware,
Yes.
We quarantined for 2 weeks and we're good.
Right.
It's been 2 weeks now. So
Yep.
So you made it safely.
Exactly.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do you have any tips or any suggestions for people who might be considering going down like this fall or winter?
Extra masks.
Yes.
Bring extra masks.
Yeah, don't rely on trying to get them there, because I don't think my face is really large, but an XL doesn't even fit my face. So I had to resort to buying the
disposables.
BYD disposables that you get at Costco and stuff. And I don't know, we took a couple hundred of those down there, and I had 10 in the bag at any given time, and I probably swapped out at least twice, maybe 3 times a day in the park, because it just got so hot and they'd get so wet and stuff. And just pitch it and put another one on. So bring plenty of those.
Well, and you can tell that, yes, they sell masks at Disney and they're awesome masks, but you can also tell which sizes are the popular sizes, because they're sold out, and they're sold out everywhere.
Mhm.
So it's just good to have a backup, have your own masks, and take extra, because if they get wet, you cannot breathe in them.
Oh, great tip. Great tip.
Don't be afraid of the lines, because they might look really, really long and like you're going to be waiting in them forever. But like I said, the most intimidating line, we were only in it for maybe 15 minutes, and a 60-minute post time. Within 20 minutes, we're sitting on the ride. So don't be afraid of the posted wait times and the look of a long line.
I think the longest we may have waited was for the Enchanted Tiki Room, just because we got there just as a show was starting and we missed that particular show.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to wait for the show to be done.
Oh, yeah. Right. Wait for it to cycle, man. Gotcha. So next time you go down,
Yeah, so
which hotel would you stay at now?
Go ahead, tell me, because wait a minute. Because what did you tell us all through?
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell them. And don't lie.
I-
If you lie, we're going to call you out.
I ended up really, I know in our pre-trip show, I was having a very hard time accepting the fact that we were staying at somewhere other than our home, Port Orleans French Quarter. And I did end up really enjoying Caribbean Beach. I kind of think part of it was that we had our own, like Jamaica had their own pool, like all the other areas had their own pool. And we were really close to Skyliner, which there's a Joffrey's right next door to it. So we would stop and get our Joffrey's before getting on a Skyliner.
Nice.
So I think I would probably stay there again.
That's not what you said, though.
I would stay there again.
No, you said you wanted to go back to
I do.
Port Orleans. So.
I do want to go back to Port Orleans just because I feel at home there, but I would stay at Caribbean Beach again.
That's fine, because when we go back again, Tim, she's going to stay at Port Orleans. Lisa and I are going to stay at Caribbean Beach. We're going to take the Skyliner over to Epcot, and then when they get there a couple hours later, we'll meet up.
Complaining about the bus.
Yeah.
We'll be all hyped up on Joffrey's coffee. Holy smokes.
Oh my gosh, that was one thing, because I come over here to walk every morning, and it was this morning. Tom looked at us and said, "So are we going to go and get a Joffrey's on our way to the Skyliner?" Oh, wait.
And we both said too soon. It's too soon.
But for anybody that's going soon, don't be afraid of the posted wait times. It might look intimidating, but it's not as long. I guarantee you most of the time it is not going to be as long. And actually, no, I lied. The most intimidating line was the Haunted Mansion, because they had, it was all sorts of maze winding up and down and
real close to the river. I had never been down there before.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it looks way worse than it actually is. It moves.
You know what? Another tip that I might make of people when they're going down. I know that the weather's starting to cool off, but I also know cooling off in Orlando is a relative term.
Right.
I actually brought some disposable type paper fans, hand fans.
Oh, yeah.
And that helped a lot. Regulating temperature and keeping, if you can keep your face kind of cool, it feels better.
Mm-hmm.
And I just pull my mask away from my face, not down, but away from my face, and fan my face. And it made it a lot more bearable. So I would recommend some type of fan. We also saw a lot of people walking around.
Fans.
Yeah, they had those neck fans you can get, I guess, on Amazon. And they're just two little battery-operated fans that you can have blow on you.
Make sure you get a couple, though. If you do it, they're about $12. And we saw one guy that his whole family had them. There was like 5 or 6 of them, and his fan broke and kicked the bucket, and he had no way to fix it.
Oh, wow. Oh, my.
I ended up just getting one at Disney, one of the Disney ones that they sell, because it was only, I want to say, it was less than $15. And if you ask any of the booths for an ice water, they'll give you an ice water for free. So hydrate, ice water's free. And I actually put a couple cups of ice water in the water reservoir of the fan that I got, and it was amazing to spray ice water and then turn the fan on. It was great.
Oh, there you go.
And that was another thing. That was, I keep thinking of things to add. It's hard to, or it's easy to forget to hydrate when you're wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. So just kind of like be aware of maybe every other booth that you come up to, ask for an ice water just to keep yourself hydrated, because it's easy to forget.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, they always say to keep drinking water because by the time you're thirsty, it's almost too late.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And every booth, almost every booth, has the capability to give you ice water.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great tip. Well, guys, thank you so much. Sounds like you had a great time.
Thank you for having us. It was a lot of fun.
It's nice talking to you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Sydney, Lisa, Tom, if anybody has any questions or is any way you want like people to maybe contact you at all?
Sure. My email is lisa_Claiborne@hotmail.com.
You're also on Facebook.
Oh, I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Looper Nation.
There you go. That's all you need.
And I'm on Facebook, Sydney James Seager. I'm also on Looper Nation.
They answer all questions for me.
There you go.
Take care of my fan club.
Tom, I know what you're saying.
Tom's also on Looper Nation.
Yeah, I joined while we were at Disney.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
I actually met someone also who joined Looper Nation. We got off of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and she had overheard me talking to another person about a podcast that I follow. And she came up because she's like, I follow all of them. Which one are you talking about? And I said Looper Nation, and she had never heard of it. So I helped her search for it on her phone, and she joined Looper Nation before we parted ways.
Yeah, so,
Oh, fantastic.
hello.
Well, I hope she's listening now.
Yeah, I hope so, because I didn't catch her name.
Drop me a note if you were the mystery person at the end of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. As we just said, Looper Nation Live, our private Facebook group. If you're thinking of booking a trip, look us up over there at ResortLoopTravel.com. You've been listening to The Gateway to the Magic. Take us away, guys.
See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.
See you, everybody.
Well done.
No, you can't say that. You got to say, have a magical day.
No, they always close their podcast with "See you, everybody."
Yeah, see you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's going in the show now.
Why don't you do Donald? Say that in your Donald voice.
Say what?
Say "Have a magical day" in your
Okay, so I haven't done this in a while, but
That's pretty good. Nice.
I used to be a lot better.
Well, you did it cold, so you weren't prepared.